Revealed. I am James and also the Brink, and today we're going to be talking about uh multiple things. We have a ton of things on the list. I know that's super vague, but we are going to start out with handhelds. What is the top dog? What is the king of handhelds? What is the one for you? And we're gonna have some debates, so you guys can chat and chat all you want. In fact, I need to bring chat up. Um, and let me post. Ugh, Loki is not happy. Excuse me. Okay. So just Wolf, welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing, Wolf? Hello, Governor. Uh got some gossip a little bit, Wolf. It's very sad but crazy thing that happened here. Um you're doing crappy, Wolf? What's wrong? Um, yeah, as we wait for more people, then we'll start the handheld stuff. So, yeah. Okay. You can tell me after. Um, I'm sorry, Wolf. Uh, we st- what's happening with me? I have been playing Hollow Knight. The game is really fun, actually. I've kind of because I saw Susie play it, and she was addicted to it for like a couple of weeks. And so I just like, I don't want to touch that right now. And it's 2D, so I don't usually have as much fun. But I have to admit, for the type of game it is, it's pretty versatile. It's very fun. I have been playing. Oh, what's happening with me? Uh, I want to wait until we get to a certain topic and then we'll talk. It's something that happened in Utah. You probably already know. But we can talk about it's not really gaming or tech related, but we'll talk about it soon, okay? Yeah, I have an addiction to Hollow Knight right now. I'm trying to beat it. So I've gotten all the areas I think except for one, and now I'm to the point where I'm just wandering around everywhere, just trying to complete everything before I get to the end of the game. And so I am, yeah, I'm getting close. I think I've put 25 hours into it in the past week. That's what I did on the weekend. On the weekend, I sat there and played it. And then on top of that, I have been playing what is it called again? Let me look it up. Abiotic factor, abiotic factor. Um, I really, really like that game. I've not beat it. I've purposely not. I'm not going to finish it. I want to get a group of people together and play it. And so, Wolf, I have you as one of my people on the list. And then I have some other people. So I think it'd be a really fun one. It can have up to 6 players, which is crazy for that type of game, but it'll be fun. Um, yeah. So also Borderlands 4 comes out tomorrow or tonight. I'm excited for that for the most part. Let me just make sure. I don't know if more people are chatting or not because sometimes Riverside doesn't show all the chats. Uh, gonna go on YouTube too. What about YouTube? What's what is it about YouTube, Wolf? Um, let's see here. Uh, oh, you're on Twitch. Oh, okay. Yeah, Wolf. This is on YouTube and Twitch. So I'm using Riverside to stream to both places. I hope. Did it not activate on YouTube? Oh no, there's 4 people on YouTube. I just don't know why I can't see the YouTube one. Huh. Let me get my phone out. I'm gonna get okay. Dismiss. Oh wait, this is okay. I guess that works. Uh, it's way ahead on Twitch. There's gonna yeah, I'll have to look at that, guys. It's just a lot easier to do. I'm trying to do both. I'm trying to utilize the reverse side. I pay for it for the off the console podcast, and so I figured I might as well use it here too. Yeah. Catsmith for you? Yes, yes, yes. There is a Twitch side. Um, Trying to diversify and figured what the hell? Why not? What the heck? I'll go ahead and stream on both, and partially just because YouTube is kind of screwing us over. Skulls playlist. I'll stay with my claw. I did buy a new Android handheld though. The claw. Okay, schools playlist. The claw, huh? Okay. Well, that's unfortunate that it's way ahead. And I, for some reason, let's see here. I'm pretty sure I am on YouTube. Right? Yep, I'm on YouTube. Okay. Yeah. Twitch is fine. Go to either one. Yeah. I don't mind. It helps my numbers on YouTube, but honestly, on Twitch too is fine. Okay. Once again, you do you. Uh, I'm not going to be offended. Okay, guys, let's do this. Let's get into today's topic. So, just a kind of introductory, what's going on is that we have um, a lot of handhelds coming out this week or this year, that is. And I want to decide on one for myself, but also give some recommendations out there for other people while we're at it. I just want to make sure everyone's happy on both sides. So that's one. Two, I have a lot of news articles, including one that's kind of like a little political. I know I get really political on off the console, and I do get political on here too sometimes. Um, but this one's a little bit closer to home in some ways, and so I'll go through it. But I'm going to be unbiased about some of the stuff. It's just interesting, weird thing that happened today. So it's a little bit more, and I'm going to save that for the last. So if people want to or to stay or not, they can. Okay, guys, let's do this. Let us go to that Casper. For you prefer Twitch for watching streams? I need to start streaming again. I actually really like it. I just stopped because I was health reasons. Okay, let's do this. Let me start sharing the screen. Okay, here we go. Man, they have that flashing light. So what we're gonna do is in chat, you can go in, um, and I'll try to like make sure to at me if you really want me to see your um. Let me move this over here more, just so I can see the chat without having to bend in my neck. Um, I'll try to get your chats closer to the end and then make sure to at me. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through each device that's on my list. I have each of their websites up. We're gonna talk about the specs, kind of what a good class that they're in, and who should be getting this stuff. I'm not gonna have every item on here. I should probably go and try getting the claw on here and some other stuff, but we just don't have time today. If we do, maybe I'll introduce a couple more things, but a couple more devices if you post them into like Discord or something like that. So that is the plan. We are going to be going over each one and just kind of like, and then you guys can share with me during the process which ones you like, why you like them. Um, and then you can also maybe towards the end, you can do it now, but maybe towards the end, you can also um, make sure to uh say what you want for like what you have now and what you want as your next device. For I already have a Steam Deck. I have an ROG Ally. I have I have multiple devices, and so but well, I do content on them too, so it makes sense that I'd have multiple. But I'm in the game to buy another one, and the ROG Ally is going to go to one of my sons, and he can use it for his gaming device. I'll get him a monitor and everything. Okay, so uh, let's get into this then. Uh, oh, that's right. The Skulls playlist I is got an Odin 3. That's what I bought the ultra paid 529. Do you like that? The Odin 3? It looks decent. Cat Smith, I actually have a tiny bit of experience for moderating Twitch chat. Ooh, Cat Smith, I'll have to add you. Raichi, welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing, man? Okay. So coming up first with our showcase, our everyone that's followed me for any periods of time knows what I think about the Steam Deck and kind of where it lies, and it is kind of an OG contender at this point. Surprisingly, for the price point, it's still a really good option. Cat Smith, I'll go ahead and either handle that later, or Wolf can add you, and I'll make sure to do it after this. Okay, so to Twitch, that is. So I'm gonna be doing the OLED because I honestly think the OLED is worth the extra $100. Actually, how much is the OLED? Let's go look at the cost on this. I'll do. I'm the part of the reason we're doing this is because I want to do a more comprehensive video that I'm doing research for, and so I have some notes here, but I'm not going to refer to them too often. I want to get more sentiment and talk things through first. And then what I'm going to be doing is breaking down value and stuff like that for people. And what triggered this was the Legion Go 2 came out at 1399, right? I think it was like, I don't think it's 29. It's 1,399, I believe is what it is. Which a lot of people thought that's too expensive. That's what, $1,000 more than the, or maybe it's more like 900. I can't remember what it was, but, and that's for like the expensive one. Or the decked out one, the one I would get if I was getting it. The Legion Go, but the base model is, I believe, 1099. So it is, yeah, it's quite a bit more expensive than the base. That being said, I would highly recommend if you're going to be going with these to just up that price by 150 and get the OLED. It future proofs it a little bit more. It gives you a little bit bigger screen. The OLED is definitely worth it for. It's just a better panel. Is quite a bit better panel. The battery life is also worth the bump up. Now, is it amazing? But the Wi-Fi 6E is nice. It downloads faster, definitely if everything supports it. I think this is an all around. This will play 80% of the games you're going to have that are single player, just fine on Steam. It's going to play a lot of them. The only exception, there's a couple exceptions with compatibility, and with like the last 2 or 3 years of AAA titles, especially Unreal Engine 5, or which tend to be more bleeding edge graphically and don't tune their graphics to handhelds, which I think is changing in the near future. I definitely think that's going to be a new, or I think companies are wising up and definitely doing that more. So let's see here. I'm just looking at chat real quick. Raichi, just don't buy anything and get an OLED TV. I don't know if I really want an OLED TV, Raichi. I not yet. I'm gonna wait a little longer to get an OLED TV. Right now, my TV that I have that I play a lot of my stuff on has an HDR and it works fine. Okay. School's playlist. I want to do more than just play video games. I got Steam Library. I'll just remote it. Yeah, 100% remote play into it. That's the thing. But so for on the go, I have a Steam Deck. I don't really need anything more than this for on the go. Like I'm playing Hollow Knight right now. Love the game, by the way. I'm near done with it, and then I'll try out Silk Song. I'm actually playing, like, I'm on a family plan with Susie, and so I'm playing with her, or playing off her account while she's playing Silk Song, which I think that's new. I don't think before, if you were borrowing someone's game, like with the old system on Steam, you couldn't play uh like if you try playing any of the games that are in their library while they're trying to play, it won't let you. Now I believe it does. So it is if you want a console-like experience on the go, the Steam Deck is the way to go. Let's just say that. It is 100% the way to go if you want that experience. I think it's the winner even today for people that want no nonsense gaming. Now, if you want no nonsense gaming and want to try to run the latest games that come out, I think there's a new winner for that. So the Steam Deck is gonna like, if you're big into indie, if you're big into you have a big library, a lot of old games, and you don't mind like on, and you have a second, like a main computer, like let's say my 3090, perfect companion. I don't think you need anything else. And to be fair, you could still go with the LCD one if you have a main gaming rig and you just really want to use this to either remote or to, do all that stuff. Now, the lag on remote play always bothers me just enough that I just don't get into it. Now, uh, I usually like playing off of the device itself. Now, the cool thing about, or the not the cool thing, but like the bad thing. Okay, okay, Wolf. I'll look into it a little bit later. Okay, no nuts, no nonsense. Okay, uh, so it is definitely the least powerful of the most of the devices on here besides an Android one, which I think we have one or two we'll look at. It is d it is got 1.6 T-flops, which in comparison is a little less than the PlayStation 4 or 4 Pro, I can't remember exactly, but it's in that realm, which, don't get me wrong, is really good, but the games for the PS4 are optimized for it, where some of the games that are for the PS4 don't run as good on the Steam Deck when ported over to PC because they're just not as optimized for this type of device. It tends to happen that way. Now, you're going to get longer game play with a lot of games because it limits the APU. So, once again, it's got 16 gigs, which is fine for like 80% of the games. This is a good all around contender. If this is going to be your only device, you're going to be stuck with, let's say, a console experience, or let's say the newer devices, which we're going to go over in a little bit. So the next up is the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, I mentioned last week I bought one for my family. Um, and at the end of the day, it is just a Switch. I consider it more of a Switch 1.5. It's got a bigger screen. It does play games, like it's got much faster processors. So don't get me wrong, like it is like it just doesn't feel next gen. Uh, yes, and then anti-cheat won't work as much. Like some games work on the Steam Deck with anti-cheat, but I would not recommend doing competitive gaming on any handheld, just honestly, especially if they're first person shooters. If you have first person shooters or a lot stuff that requires a lot of precision, I would recommend a mouse and keyboard, and probably not any handheld, because none of the handhelds are going to get you the FPS that you're going to want. um it's just going to give you an edge. uh so the Nintendo Switch 2 is overpriced, but it is similar. Maybe they saw what the price of the OLED like Steam Deck was, and they're like, "We're going to price it similar." I need to have another 1 year game development to catch up. I agree, Luke. The problem with the Switch 2 is the games just aren't as good. Now, I got the Switch 2 partially because I just was curious. I could get one because there's only two left where I was getting them from Target, and then I knew it was gonna be fun for the family for Christmas. I have 2 kids that are in Nintendo age, and I want them to have the fun that I had as a kid. I didn't have a Nintendo device growing up most of my childhood. I had friends that had Nintendo devices. Um, and so I was able to play theirs and have some fun with that. Now, I wanna give them that, and honestly, Mario Kart World is really fun. Then there's also the new Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is, got really good reviews, it's do look really good, and then we have a bunch of Switch games because I have kids that they can backport and play. So, it's definitely a good contender if you want Nintendo games and have a family and you don't care about some of the titles that you'll find on consoles and PC more, because there are lots that come to those platforms that do not come to Switch, then go for the Switch. But this is definitely one that I would not say is recommended for most people. That's at least in my channel or my community, if it's going to be your only device. If, as a secondary, and if you're a big Nintendo fan, for sure. Like if Nintendo games are your main thing, then heck, why not have it be your main console? It works fine. It just feels really, really similar to the Switch One, and in that way, not comfortable. I think the buttons are not great. Maybe I'm conditioned to PlayStation 5 buttons, but I, Raichi, we don't hate Nintendo enough. I don't. Don't get me wrong. I think some capitalism has issues, but at the end of the day, we play this game, and I want to play Nintendo games, and I bought it. I should boycott it, but I'm gonna. There's plenty of games I guess I could have got for the Switch or whatever, and let the kids play that where I don't have to give as much money to Nintendo, because honestly, they're super aggressive right now. They are super aggressive, lawsuits and all that. So um, don't follow in my uh, in my stand, or in my my footsteps. I obviously caved, um, but I did it for the kids. So yeah, Switch 2. I'll definitely if you're a Nintendo fanboy. Let's move on to the Legion Go Gen 2, guys. It is the one that I'm most excited for this year. You guys, if you've watched me at all this year, I've been super excited. They patented summoning. Raichi, I know they patented summoning. I hate it so much. Nintendo patented summoning essentially, especially through balls, through throwing them and all that. It is crazy um, that Nintendo's gonna potentially get away with it. Um, I would like to see any type of those types of patents thrown out the window. It's crazy. Okay, guys. Um, Yeah, the Legion Go 2. It has an 8.8-inch screen. It is a big boy. I play most of my games at my house, and then on the go, if I really I have so much entertainment. I have a phone that I can load up with uh videos, everything else. I am not for want of entertainment. I'd probably get, honestly, if they make a kill switch for this, I'd probably get a kill switch for this and still take it, because it makes it easier to transport this type of stuff. It's bulky, but I'm starting to dig the bigger screens. Like an 8.8-inch screen is a little big. It is unfortunately uh not unfortunately, but yeah. So the Legion Go, if you know about the Legion Go 1, this is very similar. It has the same controllers, it's got the same uh the screen is a little lower resolution, but from my understanding, it is well, because it's an OLED, it's going to be much better. Welcome, BT Maverick. Oh, and then Raichi, they patented summoning like Persona, Devil Summoned, or Necromancer. Yeah, yeah, Raichi. Like, don't get me started on like game and software patents. Freaking garbage that they can patent stuff like that. So The D-pad, I kind of like this for Tony Hawk a little bit, but I'll be honest, I like the traditional PlayStation because that's what I'm used to with like Tony Hawk's. Um, I reviewed. You can see my video. I've reviewed the Legion, the Legion Go 1. FPS mode is interesting. It's a fun gimmick. It's more ergonomical, funny enough, but it is. I'd have to get used to it. It is just not really my style. Um, I'd rather just carry around a mouse. Like if I had to play something on this that is competitive, I'd bring a mouse and keyboard. I know that adds a lot of clunk to everything. And at that point, might as well get a laptop. But I do. I guess I do have a laptop I could play off that too. But it's Mac. That's for work. But yeah, it's it is what it is. Like I have so many games that aren't FPS on the go that I can play, like Hollow Knight. That it's not a big deal. Um, Luke, is this one where Joy Cons are mouses? So the Joy Cons do both have a mouse sensor in them, so you can kind of slide them, and they're kind of interesting. That being said, the Lenovo the Legion Go 1 and 2, like this one is 2, but the first one also has this FPS mode where you can get mice that set on the side and control them that way. And that's what I kind of think of is that it's like a mouse that's on the side. It's similar. It is slightly gimmicky. It is better than I thought it was going to be, but it is still a little gimmicky. But at the end of the day, like if you just are going to have one device and you need something that's more portable, this is it. This is your guy. Hall effect joysticks are also nice. I mean, this is gonna be primo stuff, guys. Like you're not gonna get more premium than this device, and it's also. I don't know if it's going to come out with launch. From my understanding, it's going to be the beginning of next year. It's been announced that this will have the new Windows game mode. That game, not gay mode. uh, that people are going to be able to utilize, which will save you both. Um, it will save both power, like battery power, and also increase your performance a little bit. It's going to run background processes in the background or remove background processes that should not be there while playing games. It will be interesting when the ROG Xbox Ally comes out. We'll figure it out more, like what's going on with that, how good it's going to be. See, subtle fear. To be honest, I'm just sticking with my Z1 Extreme Ally. Hey, I have a Z1 Extreme right here. I want an eGPU, and so I might give this to my kids and then get something else. I might actually, honestly, I might go and get something used if I don't get review copies. Sometimes I'll get a review from stuff, but from places. But if I don't, then I'll tell you at the end what I'm going to buy. Okay, so this is definitely a big one on my list. This is one that I thought was going to be really interesting this year. I was worried it was going to be in the thousands, and for the version I want, it's like $1,300. Is that am I wanting to spend that much? No. So we'll see where I go. It looks like they might have a keyboard that would be kind of cool to have a keyboard, but we'll see. Ergonomically, that was another big complaint with the Legion Go 1 was that the ergonomics it was just had too many edges. It did not feel comfortable. Some people it felt fine. For me, it did not feel comfortable. This one's rounded edges, like you can see right here, are much better. Where the other one had straight edges. Bizarre decision, but this one looks a lot like the Legion or the AYANEO. The AYANEO and the allies. Subtle fear. The Z2E, so the Z2 Extreme, Xbox Ally doesn't impress me, especially when the base model is supposedly slower than the Z1E. Plus, the OG models will get the new software, so what's the point? They'll get them next year. So kind of agree. This one has a really good like, and I kind of agree with the Ally. The Ally, if you have an Ally X, there is really no big reason to get the Xbox Ally X, really, unless you want to be bleeding edge. Now that being said, if you want something different, we'll get into that. We'll get there. But let's look at the tech specs here. So the biggest difference is that, and this isn't correct fully. Like for some reason, this only says Z2, so you can get the Z2 or the Z2 Extreme. The Z2 Extreme is more powerful than the Z1 Extreme. From my understanding, you're going to get like 20%. But the Z2, though, the regular, is similarly powered to the Z1 Extreme. What's up, Cascoder? Welcome, welcome, welcome. And so that is so I want to see more like specs that come out. Also, with this is the base. So 16 gigs of RAM. It's upgradable to 32. So this base configuration you're seeing right here is $1,099. Um, oh, nice. How you liking it, Cascoder? Cascoder got his Retroid Pocket 5's second screen in. Nice. How you liking it, man? Um, I don't know if it starts with 1 terabyte. So their marketing, man, their marketing is a little off. I think it starts with 512, but if it starts with 1 terabyte, cool. I think more devices need to. It's got 74 watts of power, which is much better than the original. So this is going to be much heavier. And from my understanding, these speakers are also sound better. The original one speakers were not great. It's one of the weakest parts of the original. If it is weak again, like nothing's beaten my Ally yet. Like the Ally's speakers are amazing. But everything else like is pretty up to par, right? It's got a 16:10 ratio, so this is um you could think of this as being like a 16:9 1080 screen. So it's a 1200 screen, which is similar. It's just a little bit bigger ratio, aspect ratio, and it's 1200. Similarly, it should be about a similar amount of pixels though. So it's got the 144 hertz refresh rate for an OLED. It's a little extreme for a handheld, but it is what it is. I think 90 is the sweet spot for Steam Deck, but for a lot of these panels, it's probably easier just to go with this instead of something custom. Then, um, and by the way, guys, how are you guys doing? How's everyone in chat doing? More than welcome to shoot a chat out to me. This is more of a let's chat. This is supposed to be a little bit more. I'm kind of just really going into the paint on this, but this is also supposed to be, have fun with this. Yeah, so the Legion space and like the drivers with Legion Go 1 were not impressive to me. Like it was drastically worse than like the Ally. If they improve the drivers, if they improve all the nitpicks that I kind of just pointed out, the speakers, the drivers, that Z2 Extreme, if it gives at least a 20% bump over the Z2 or the Z1 Extreme, they might have me sold, but I might not buy it right away. I might wait for an open box. Okay. Cascoder, the setup wasn't clear. Had to dig up videos of people using it to learn how to actually split or use the screen simultaneously. Not very user friendly out of the box. That's the problem with devices like that, Cascoder, is that they're not really like a lot of users aren't going to be able to successfully navigate that. So at least you're a power user. Cascoder, yes, you and I think High Tech are, and maybe even Gardner are kind of on the is this worth, so it's double the price for not double the specs. I agree. Kind of. Uh it's not double the specs, but it has a lot of stuff packed into it that just adds that much more cost. OLED's one of them. It's also for the 1099 one, so the 1099, it's only what, like $200-300 more. And once again, I wouldn't say that it's worth it at that. But if you go to up by $300 to the $1399 or $1300, whatever it is, for 32 gigabytes of RAM for OLED, uh, Ultra. OLED has issues with VR flickering, so waiting for the real world reviews of Legion Go 2 before pulling the trigger. I agree with that. I think it's a good idea to wait for the reviews before you pull that trigger. But that OLED is a bonus. It was not like I think the Legion Go 1 was actually a pretty good screen. Was not like something I need, but the speakers were pretty bad. The Steam Deck and the Allies are much better. The battery is much better. Like they really just I think they got something good going on, but we'll see. Uh-oh. That was weird. Got to start sharing again. Okay. So I think also, what was that? Another big important part for me is this USB 4. With the 40 gigabytes data transfer, display port 1.4. That's an interesting one. Oh, that's display port over the thing. Yeah, that's fine. So this I want to do an eGPU. So this is a big win for me. Okay. So let's go back to or let's go to the next one. Legion Go S and Legion Go 2, which are actually oh wait. Oh well. It's not supposed to be Legion Go 2, but Legion Go S which for open box you can actually like there's Legion Go Z2 Go and then there's the other one. This is the one with SteamOS, right? And so no, this is the one with Windows 11. Why does it keep on killing my screen share? I'll have to set this up better with OBS, but for now this is what it is. Technical difficulties, guys. So this is definitely looking promising, but from my understanding, you can get just the Z2 or the Z1 Extreme. I'm also eyeing over the Lenovo Legion Go S or one of the the Goes. But it's an open box. I would not pay $750 for this. At the end of the day, who knows? I might be getting an Xbox or just getting an Ally X or something. Upgrading my Ally to an Ally X, which will support eGPUs. I really, really want to I want an eGPU. I want to play with an eGPU. I want to try it out. And so this is definitely a plus. And this, I want, I'm gonna look at the, oh, let's go look at the, yeah. Here we go. Here we go. So, yeah, the Legion Go as powered by SteamOS is one that I'm interested in. You can do I found out, guys, that you can do an eGPU with SteamOS. There's someone on Reddit that's done it. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean it's true, but it looks true from the evidence they provided. And so tariffs have got to up that price. I don't think that's what it started at, right? Damn tariffs. This one, yes, this one has the Z1 Extreme, which I already have. I love it. I think it plays most of the games I needed to play. 32 gigabytes of RAM, perfect. And then it's 55-watt battery. It's okay, better than my Ally though. My Ally I think has like a 40-watt battery in it. And then yeah, it's pretty banging for what you get. The screen is an 8-inch screen, which is perfectly what I want. I don't need an OLED in OLED's Plus, but once again, $829, man, is not going to be my like unless I get it for a better price, I'm not paying that price. Goldie YouTube, Goldie Tube or Gold YouTube. Jeez, Gold YouTube. Switch 2 is good. Once again, I think the Switch 2 is pretty good. Like it's pretty powerful. It has fun games. I would not say as a device that's a handheld gaming device. It's not portable at this point. They should have just made it more ergonomical, because they made it bigger. I like that they made it bigger. I really like the screen on this Switch too. I just don't like the way I still don't like the way the controllers feel in my hand. But the games are fun. Let's go into this. I haven't really looked into the Acer Nitro Blaze 8, and then there's the 11 much. So I'm kind of curious. I don't have a lot of hope in Acer, but guess we'll give it a try. We'll see how it is. Because I haven't really covered this one much. It's it's using the AMD Ryzen. It's just using a pure AMD Ryzen chip. That's interesting. Yeah, okay. It's got a 1600 panel. It's going to be eating up more power that with that. 104. I think as long as we get 90 hertz, like it is handheld though. 60 hertz is probably fine, but I do like the smoothness of 90 hertz. Raichi, sadly, the Switch 2 is owned by the most vile creatures of the universe, worse than the Third Reich. Oh, damn, Raichi. I know you're joking, but that's okay. Nintendo's not that bad. But I agree. Nintendo is very troublesome and they do not do well with their PR. 16 gigabytes of RAM, definitely too low for me. This is so weird. Where can you buy this? Is this out yet? Would you guys get an Acer? Let me ask you this. Would you get an Acer device? It's got the 8840 HS, delivering up to 39 tops. AI tops. I want to know if you can buy this and what the price is. I swear I thought I was going to find like a purchase or a pre-order. Nitro Blaze 7, 8, 11 is too big. Even 8.8 inches is a little big for me, but we'll see. Okay, let's skip this. I definitely, it's just because it's Acer. I just don't trust it. I hate to say it. Now we're gonna get into some of the Androids devices. The AYANEO Pocket DS, reinventing the classic exclusive experience, world's first clamshell dual screen Android handheld. I think this came out this year, right? It wasn't last year. This is an Android dual screen device that you can play split screen, I believe, games, right? So Nintendo DS style emulated games. It has a sunken controllers, which aren't great, but if you're wanting, if you have cargo pants, you want something on the go, damn, this is a great option for if you like indie games that are on Android or emulated games. This is perfect for you. If you don't want anything on Steam or PC and you just want to play some old school games or just your Android, not gonna call it slop, but your Android games that are more like gotchas games, then this is a great one for you. Either emulation or that. Having the split screen is also kind of cool. I would kind of hope that I could like maybe throw on like a show while I'm playing through some like while I'm playing like a Nintendo DS. Well, not Nintendo DS, but like an emulated game that requires more time to kind of win, to kind of beat, to kind of like if it's an RPG, more grinding and stuff like that. Definitely it makes it nice. Reishi, the PS4, PS5 gamepad are awesome for Steam Deck. I agree, Richie. I 100% agree. I think the PS5 controller is great on the Steam Deck and Windows. Like it's my favorite controller. I used to say Xbox, but I've gotten so used to the PS5 controller. I love it for platformers and stuff. Okay, so this one's definitely like, as far as uniqueness, this one's very interesting. Um, the Skulls playlist. Game Hub now adds PC game emulation on Android. And excuse me. And they can play Steam games to a point on my new Odin 3 Elite and my Odin 2. That's true. There is some PC game emulation on Android. So, but you can also stream, right? You can stream from. Actually, does the PlayStation 5 can you stream that to an Android device? I know you can do it to an iPhone, but I don't know about an Android device. I can't remember. But um, with Android, you can stream a lot of your games from your PC and stuff like that to it. And there's Android's come a long way. Honestly, it feels very premium, but it's going to cost you a pretty penny because it's AYANEO and they charge a lot. Let's see how much it is. Eight. No, that's how much they're raised. Um, so you can't get it anymore. Oh wait, you can get this. Okay. $503 for the 16 gigabyte of RAM, 512 gigabytes of hard drive space for the featured early bird price, which is essentially 500. Yeah, $500. So just say it right here, even though this says different right here, but that could be exchange rates changing because of inflation and stuff like that. Who knows? Or it could be the Chinese uh, currency fluctuating. Because they're a Chinese company. Uh, 500 for an Android is pretty crazy, but it is a very unique device. And I think it does I mean, people wanted it. They've have 1,400 backers. That's crazy. It's just it's unique. It would be interesting to see it like in a PC style. Honestly, I would like to see it in like a PC style. Give me an 8-inch screen with a little mini screen on it too that flips up. It helps protect the screen, one, which is I like that clamshell design because it helps protect the screen. It's a little bit more pocketable. Um, and I could have walkthrough guides and some other stuff on it. It would be nice. Uh, yeah, because of remote play. Yep. Uh, School's playlist. I don't think 500 $500 was bad price for 8K battery, 65-watt charge, 1 terabyte storage with an elite Wi-Fi. Yeah, this is for the Odin 3, right? Elite. No, I don't think it's bad at all. I don't have the Odin on here. Let's go to that. So you got the Odin 3 Ultra or Elite? Are these out? Did you buy it? I have the original Odin. Um, it's pretty good actually. I like it. That being said, uh, I mean, it looks good. You can't knock them for that. Like this actually looks like a really good device. Um, I don't think it's bad. Like if 6-inch screen is a little small for me, but this is pocketable, meaning you can essentially put this in your pocket. Ooh, those ergonomics are kind of nice too. So um, it follows a little bit more of the AYANEO design, but it is not a bad device. As far as Android devices go, though, um, they're not quite for me. I have one already that I can do plenty with it. Welcome, 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 Jay. Um, I love the uniqueness of the Pocket DS though. I really like how unique this is. I think if I was to get one of these between these two, my specific reason is for emulation and multitasking, and this would be it right here. And it's a little bit more. I shouldn't say it's more pocketable because it's going to be definitely much bigger. It's not going to be as comfortable though. Yeah, so the Odin 3 is definitely going to be a much more comfortable. If I was just going to be playing this every once in a while, uh maybe this, but I mean even looking at this looks like I did not notice those controllers as much. They remind me of the Switch. The D-pad looks better than the Switch, but like the rest of it kind of reminds me of the Switch, though, which doesn't give me a lot of hope. I don't like how small those screens are. Nice. Um Jay, I definitely need a new handle. Not being able to play all games on the Steam Deck holds it back. Are you, do you so Jay, I can't remember. Do you have a PC or are you just running like the Steam Deck? Smaller than the two? Yeah, it looks like the Odin 3 does definitely looks more compact. It says it's bezel-less, meaning like essentially there's zero bezel. Where like if you see the device on here, like you'll see like when I turn this on, there'll be a little space, a black space, and that's the bezel, which means it's more susceptible to drops and breaking when you get it closer to the edge, typically. But yeah, it's definitely 650 nits of brightness is pretty awesome, actually. Okay, so I don't even know why I added this one in here. You got the Abxylute 3D. Can you even? This is sold out, right? Oh no, it launches soon. Even their website's kind of special. Uh, the world's first. Raichi, 800p is such a trash display on the deck. Damn, Raichi. I definitely want it to be higher. I'll say that. I wouldn't say it's trash though. Jay, I only run the Steam Deck. I haven't gotten a PC yet. Oh yeah, you're good. I think honestly, Jay, going with your next handheld, if you go with the next handheld, you can get an eGPU and upgrade it later as you want. That's kind of the direction I'm recommending. I think more and more people is to go that route. But this is interesting. Absolute. I think I heard about this last year, like 11-inch screen. It's smooches. Steam Deck 2 in 2028 is crazy. That is coming. We're gonna be waiting that long. Um, this is so stupid. I hate this. Okay, the deck is pretty interesting. Like their desk, but it's probably I don't know. Okay. It can go into it like it has the removable. I'll say it right now, guys. This marketing does not give me hope that this will be an absolute unit. Uh, Abxylute. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely doing a pass on that, guys. Uh, 3D one. Like I don't even know what 3D one means. World's first naked eye 3D. Oh, okay. Scratch that. I'm not an idiot. I mean, I am an idiot, but I'm not an idiot. So it's going to have a 3D. It's gonna have a 3D effect like the Nintendo 3D. I'm stupid. Free true 3D play games in a whole new way. I just brushed through this too quick. My friend is nuts about his Legion Go though. The Legion Go is nice. It's just that I think the software's gotten better. I just haven't tried it since the software's gone better. Um, I don't. I'll be honest. I don't need a 3D handheld. I'd rather get glasses or something to work with that. I love classic game reimagined in 3D nostalgic titles now brought to you live with modern 3D tech. You gotta love that Mario's right there. You know Nintendo's not freaking liking that. They're gonna be absolutely sued soon. They're they're screwed. I have to admit, it's a little bit more interesting. It's gonna be in the $1,000 range. And there's just like that's out of the question until we learn more about it. Now here comes the final kind of thing, handheld, and then I want to know what everyone's going to do, what they're thinking. Jay, it is interesting, but I really think it's too gimmicky. Jay, I really wouldn't recommend getting the Absolute 3D one, at least not until like reviews and everything's out. I would highly recommend going the route of getting either a used Xbox or a used ROG Ally X. Eventually, the Windows update will hit it. It's supposed to next year, so you'll get that benefit anyways that the Xbox Ally X has. And then on top of that, um, it is it's just this is going to be more expensive. I can already tell that this is going to be like $1,000 device. All the rumors are showing that this is going to be a $1,000 device. It comes out. It's in. Have they even announced the price yet? I don't even think they've announced the price yet. Yeah. So we're still guessing on that, but it's pretty educated guesses. So October 16th, it's coming up. That being said, this is a little bit of a contender for me. I don't like the controller quite the way it is, but this is definitely a contender for me. I would be getting the Xbox Ally X if I got it. And I another thing is I have this right here. If the Xbox Ally X can prove to me that it is worth the upgrade over this, plus I can use an eGPU with it, down for it. I'm down. And then my kids will inherit this. One of them needs a new computer anyways for a PC, so that is also one of the reasons I'm going to be upgrading most likely. So it arguably isn't the best looking device. You can see like these controllers, right? The handles on this are going to be definitely really comfortable, Xbox style esque controllers, and the way it feels. It just doesn't look good to a point, but it doesn't look as bad as some of the other devices. Jay, yeah, I'm getting the Xbox Ally X for sure. Definitely can't go wrong with it. Price wise though, you might be paying a little bit more than if you can find like an Xbox or like an Ally X, but yeah, we'll see about that. What our AR glasses are worth to buy? Jay, they can be okay. Like some people love their AR glasses or their the glasses that they put on this so they can watch see like a big screen TV essentially. I say they had saw that they had Ray-Ban Meta glasses. Yeah, I haven't tried any of that stuff out yet. I'm looking into it. Like the X Rails I've heard are really good, from what I've heard, but I haven't gotten a pair yet. Sometimes you can get them around close to 200. I see the light around that price. Ooh, okay. Jado, that's you. I don't have a handheld. I'm in the cloud. Nice. So this is the device just because it's coming out with game mode. It releases with a game mode with Windows. I don't know what that exactly means, but it's going to be similar to Steam Deck, where when you buy a Steam Deck, you open it up, you then get presented with the nice overlay of like UI that is friendly for gamers. It's console oriented UI that makes it easier for just gaming if that's what you want. And then you can exit out into desktop mode if you want, and you have a full Linux desktop. This has similar, from my understanding. It can boot into like a Windows game mode that's going to be similar to Xbox. This is UI, and then you can exit out or probably set the default to boot to either one from Windows. Um, I between the two, between like if you want to use this as a laptop on the go, plug it in, dock it. This is going to do drastically better than the Steam Deck in every way. The Steam Deck is horrible at multitasking. It is fully designed for gaming, where this chip right here is designed for gaming plus. It doesn't mean it's going to be the best battery life compared to maybe the Steam Deck, but it's still optimized and it's a newer generation, so it's going to handle some of that stuff better. So at the end of the day, like the Xbox Ally X is a device that I think a lot of people, if they're very interested in handheld gaming, they should get it full on. I think they've worked directly with um Ace Asus to build this out. I think there's a lot of promising parts to this. It's going to be very, like, if you have an Ally X, like, here's the thing, guys. If you have an Ally X, I'd stick with that. If you have a Steam Deck and you're really just wanting a little bit more and more, like, you want to really tinker and you feel like there's a couple of games you want to be able to play, this is the smart upgrade, in my opinion, is going to something like this. There might be better deals. Like, if you're a deal shopper, then go and get a used Ally X, or it really depends on what you want. So there are the deal shoppers, or people that don't want to have to deal with that and just want something that they can buy. And I think the Xbox Ally X is going to probably be that. We'll have to wait until it comes out, but I definitely think there's a lot of promising aspects to this. I think 24 gigabytes of RAM is a great little add-on. I think it should be 32, but 24 is the bare minimum anymore, I think. Um, the 7-inch screen is also, I wish it was 8. That's one of my reasons I like. If this was an 8-inch screen right here, this would win me over. This is the same screen as the I believe it's the same screen as the Asus Ally and Ally X. I think they're both the same screen. Not a bad screen. Screen's fine. But I want it to be a little less bezel. I want to be it more bezel-less or be essentially 8-inch screen. That screen is technically smaller than the Steam Deck's OLED. So but it, another kind of plus to this, it says it's Thunderbolt 4 compatible. So but I heard when they announced it, I swear that they said it was going to be as USB 4 Thunderbolt 4, but AMD doesn't really do that with these types of chips. So I'm curious, like, if it's just going to be USB 4 Type C. Then it's going to have a USB 3.2 Gen 2, which won't support eGPU, but this will support an eGPU. Um, it is definitely looking like an interesting device. It's weird that they didn't go with Wi-Fi 7, but it just could have been because of cost. The 80-watt battery, though, on this thing is a freaking beast. It is definitely worth the upgrade over the Ally. Like, this is hands down. We'll see how much the price differences are. But I really do like this device on paper. We'll see though when it comes out though. So at the end of the day, let's see what you guys have to say, and then we can get back into it. Will you be able to play your digital Xbox games on this, Jay? Yes, you will be able to play your digital Xbox games on this. Not Game Pass, but if you bought digital games on your Xbox account, yes, you'll be able to play them on this. Yes, definitely plan on that. Jado, he's mostly Xbox Anywhere titles, and Game Pass emulators is another good route. Yeah, so at the end of the day, if you have a Steam Deck, you're happy with it, you don't get any of that FOMO, I stick to the Steam Deck. If you don't want to play any modern, like, high intense games, you're more of a laid back kind of gamer that has indie style games or games that aren't as graphically demanding, Steam Deck is going to be your best bet for price to performance, or price, not price to performance, but price to just what you're going to get. I still think the Steam Deck's a great, and I'm going to say this, secondary console option. I think this is going to be probably taking that over as the console option if you kind of just want to move over. Um, and just be able to play everything you want day one on this, it will probably be able to handle it to an extent. That being said, SteamOS is a little bit more optimized than Windows for gaming, but if the game mode pays out, if it pays off their game mode, then we'll see. It'll be very interesting. At the end of the day, I think us gamers are going to be winning, except for the price department. Tariffs are going to probably continue to screw us over on prices, and we are in the middle of or we're not in the middle, but we're about to start a stagflation. We've probably been in a stagflation, but we have some major issues going on here with prices, and so we'll see what the Xbox Ally, if it comes out and it's similarly priced to the ROG or to the Legion Go 2 end game. It's over. I don't think it's going to, but like if even if it's like $200 less than the Legion Go 2, like the really well spec'd one, it's over, guys. So it'd be the Legion Go for me. The Legion Go 2. As far as what I'm going to be doing, I am most likely going to be shopping for a used Ally X potentially, or something similar. One of the devices that has, and maybe an Ally X, but it has a 7-inch screen. I'm going to be shopping between this Ally X used and an 8-inch screen. I have to decide if I really care about the 8-inch screen that much or not, because I'm going to be hooking up an eGPU and playing it off my monitors right here or my TV out there. It's going to be kind of like an all around going to be my gaming device. It's going to be replace my. I have a 3090 over here. I'm going to jack that 3090 out and put it into. Oh, I don't know why it keeps on killing my shares. Jack it out of my PC right here and slap that in eGPU, and I'm going to hook it up. So we're going to have a good time with that. What do you guys plan on getting? I think a lot of people are pretty sold on the Xbox handheld. Other people, I think that's the nice thing too about handhelds right now is there is kind of a device for everyone at this point. We are fully saturated. I don't think there is any new handhelds that we need until we have a big performance bump, and so we'll see. Um, Jay, wow, that's cool. I'm definitely going to buy it then day one. I didn't know you can even play your digital Xbox games on it. That's a plus. Yeah, yeah. And no, this is Windows, and it's going to have a Windows mode, and you're going to be able to play Windows games on this. Like that is a huge plus to this device over the Steam, any of the Steam devices, SteamOS devices, is that you're not going to be limited by any of the stuff that they're limited by, which mostly is some of it's compatibility, and then some of it like anti-cheat and stuff like that. At the end of the day, I haven't seen this in play. I haven't tried this out. I still think the Steam Deck is one of the best devices out still. Um, but if you don't want any compromises, you're going to have to get something like this or the Legion Go 2. That's kind of my take on it. Okay, let's get into Borderlands 4 is coming out soon. Let's dive into some more stuff. Do you guys have anything interesting that you wanted me to bring up, or are we good to keep on going? You guys can also post in the chat what you guys are planning on getting. I think most of you already have, but go for it. Jay, I really like the SteamOS Linux, but not everything works. That is the problem, Jay. If it's your only gaming device, the Steam Deck is not my recommendation. My recommendation for Steam Deck is usually pretty like if you have a pretty beefy PC that you play a lot of your games on, and then you I don't know why it keeps on killing the screen share. And then you play all your beefy games on there. Let's say Borderlands 4, you can play on there. You wouldn't be able to play that on Steam Deck. I just guarantee because right here, the Steam Deck has a 4-core CPU, um, where it looks like it's going to be requiring 6. They changed it. Oh, well, no, they're changing it to 8-core. Damn, that is crazy. So we'll see how that works out. Changing that minimum spec is pretty crazy too. What is this? Yeah, definitely don't think the Steam Deck's gonna be able to handle this. But the like 2070 is like the minimum is crazy. This is gonna be kind of a beefy game. So Rachie, what I'm sad is Valve are snails, whereas PC Steam OS. I agree with Rachie. I hope that they get it out soon. It would be nice, especially to make like a desktop console for my outside TV. It is more of a hobby thing more than anything, but yeah, it would be nice to have something like that and have it out. They are honestly, I think they could also utilize releasing a new Steam Deck. Let's see here. We don't need to go through all these. Let's see. Uh Okay, guys. Sorry, we're going to be ending this soonish. Um This is so stupid. I had to share it. Red Dead Redemption 2 modder says to hell with your realistic Western cowboy fantasy. Get horse girl build instead. And it's not like a horse girl. They're literally riding girls, but not in the non-sexual way. God. I just realized what I was saying. This right here, is this a girl that's stretched out like a horse? This is freaking crazy. I'm only sharing this with you guys because this is ridiculous. Okay, let's go. Let's go to the last topic of today. Jay, damn, would Borderlands 4 blow up the Steam Deck? Yes, it probably would, unfortunately. Reichi Umamasume. Is that who that was? Didn't there's a game on that too, Reichi. Last one is, and it kind of goes into too, like if you guys saw on the news, I'm gonna get a little political because it's a topic that's kind of close to me right now. So the US government is looking at the connection between video games and gun violence because what else could it possibly be? RFK Jr. is starting to blame this crazy dude is starting to blame games again. So we're getting back into the 90s. So in the 90s, if you guys don't know, and Australia weirdly enough has like groups that are going after video games and blaming them for like all the violence going on in the world where, you know, the only violence that really occurs that's like really extreme is in America, that's in the first world countries. A lot of the other ones have like, yeah, they'll have stabbings and some other stuff like that, but I'm gonna tell you what, I'd rather go against a gun, a knife than a gun, but that's besides the point. Um, it's crazy though that they're blaming the gun violence that's going on right now on video games where everywhere else has it. They don't have gun violence as much as they do. What it comes down to is mental health and access to guns. The lore of Umamasume is legendary racing horses. Souls get reincarnated in another world. They keep their quirks they had in their last life, and they keep racing as horse girls. It's weird. My god damn, Ragey. Okay, that's funny. So I like how I'm weaving in and out of like a serious topic and this topic. Make football simulator with waifus, and I'm telling you that money will fall from the sky. Raichi, not a like. Would you have your the way of waifus like these anime chicks playing football? Is that what you're saying? So like, oh, what was that? I swear there was like a female version of like the XNFL or XL. I don't remember what it was called. Yeah, besides the point. Get back on track. It looks like we're in luck for another 3.5 years of people going like essentially RFK Jr. going after video games. And he has the backing a lot of the Republican Party, who owns pretty much everything right now up until next year at some point when uh midterms happen. But this will be interesting. We could see banning of video games. um and he says Kennedy said the sudden onset of violence began in the 1990s, which he apparently finds inexplicable because we had lots of guns when we were kids and this sort of thing never happened, and it freaking did. The history shows otherwise. It does. Violence has actually gone down. It's just we have a lot more people and we have a lot more access to guns, and it's become commonplace to do school stuff. I'm not going to go into that too much. I just don't, yeah. Jay, I blame parents if they let their kids play violent games. Well, Jay, it's not actually the violent games typically that's doing it. It is other behaviors and mental health issues that are not being checked. Games don't make me want to crash out on innocent people. 100% Jay. I don't even think um, young kids playing violent video games is going to necessarily do it. With some exceptions, GTA could maybe, if you're like an 8-year-old playing it for like 4 or 5 years, maybe it could make you a little demented. but I don't think the research is there. I'm just saying I'm giving them as much whatever like giving them as much as I can where the data does not show this. The data does not show violent video games cause more violence. Um, it, what causes a lot of this is um, essentially just the gun worship that goes on. Um, and the amount of people that would just like pose with their guns, I don't think is mental health. I think that's not mentally healthy to pose with your gun. You respect your gun. I don't think posing with it just shows that you're a little crazy in my opinion. It is what it is. If you're at a gun range, different story. But if you're doing family photos, a little crazy. Leona, messy waifu would sell like, God damn. Rachie, you're coming up with all the good ideas, right? 90s kids were the worst. They hid themselves from their Christian parents to play and see Mortal Kombat gore. Dang, Rachie. I did used to play Mortal Kombat as a kid, and I have to say, I have gone drastically the opposite direction of violent. I am I guess I can have a temper, but it's different. But here's the thing. The reason why I say this is a little close, and this is like we're at the end of this. I'm not going to go too far into this, but Charlie Kirk, if you guys have been following the news, he was just murdered in um, Orem, Utah, at UVU. So another reason I bring this up, and this is a little relevant to me. So this is a little beyond games, but is a little. I shouldn't say interesting because everyone if you've been watching my stream long enough, you know that I'm more liberal, or more like left. I wouldn't say I'm really liberal. I'm more left. I'm past liberal. Um, but I condone or condemn, sorry, condemn any type of violence politically. He was he's a big time right person. He was just murdered like a couple of hours ago near me in Utah, which is crazy. Um Jay, I played violent games when I was a kid. I was never violent. I just wanted to boxing instead. Yeah, especially if you're a guy, you're gonna have a little bit more aggression and stuff like that. Um, he was killed for his opinions. I don't think we know what the killer's motives are yet. Hopefully, it's not video games. It's just crazy because it was the university that I went to. UVU is the one I graduated from. I used to also live in Orem. I know that area fairly well. So I hate to see it. I really do. Like it's not good for a political sphere. It's not going to help the video games. Like they're gonna need a martyr, or though he's gonna be martyred. That's a completely different thing. Um, but like RFK Jr. has already been saying this about some of the other school shootings. He's gonna be using this, and they're gonna be using this to potentially um add more laws and restrictions to video games. And I just think as a gamer, I think we're going to get more regulated creativity, which I don't necessarily like, right? I like regulations to an extent, but saying you can't make a violent video game is not good. It's not going to be good. Raichi, in 10 years, I wouldn't be surprised the US president is a VTuber. Damn, Raichi. Yeah. To be fair, Raichi, I would almost prefer a VTuber to what we have now because for the past few years, like for the past 6 years, oh gosh, for the past almost 9 years, we've had super old people in the office. I just want someone like younger that's more coherent and up to date with like stuff like this, video games. Jay, he's not going to ban games. He's just going to make them so they're heavily more edited or censored. Like trust me, the Christian groups and a lot of groups are going to go after this as a sign of like, okay, we got to be putting in laws to censor stuff. We almost had multiple laws in the 90s that would have sent like pretty much banned GTA. Um Australia already has some pretty strong laws. They have to censor some stuff. Some countries out there already like censor blood. Like, was it China where some games will change the blood to white liquid, which looks looks like semen. So, not a great change. And so it's a crazy day. It's a crazy day for Utah, for that whole thing. Sad, but it'll be interesting to see how this affects gaming, though. I shouldn't say interesting, but it'll be, yeah. I, Jay, I saw that they do want to censor games, didn't they? Censor ready or not. Probably did censor it, but it was a kid, like it's a kids slash teen movie. Rachie, the future will be like Beyblade. When you have an argument or a fight, you would duel with Beyblade, but instead it would be Fortnite 1v1. I'm down. I know a lot of people hate Fortnite. I would much rather. Well, I'm not down for like, oh my, if I win, my ideas wins. Like that's stupid. But I want to see how those mother effers play a competitive game and see how they freak out. You might be able to. Some narcissists might reveal themselves by like, if they lose, they'll just have a complete come apart. So I mean, I think in theory it could work out, Rachie. I don't think you're onto anything bad. I know you're joking, but it'd be interesting. Okay, guys. So I've pretty much covered everything today. I am going to be revamping some of my show stuff. I'm hoping to be streaming sometime soon too. But yeah, I need to stop playing Hollow Knight. That's why I didn't stream over the weekend. I played 20 hours of Hollow Knight. Oh, wish me luck, guys. Hopefully, I will beat the game soonish. I'm getting pretty close, I feel. And I don't waste more time on it because it is really fun, but very frustrating. Thank you guys, who's ever on YouTube or Twitch. Make sure to like, subscribe, bash that bell, follow, whatever you need to do. Thank you guys for watching. I'll even have a better show for you next week. Thanks for all the chats and everything else you guys do. You guys are awesome. And at the end of the day, I'm really excited to see what the Xbox Ally X comes out with, and hopefully hopefully next time is a better name. Pinball Spire sounds interesting. It's an adventure pinball game, Raichi. That actually, I like pinball games, but I like physical pinball games. I don't know if I could play a digital one. Even though, oh yeah, you're seeing that, like right here, 3D Pinball Space Cadet is an old school game that was on Windows 95, 98. I can't remember if it was 95, but 98, I believe. I played a hell of a lot of that. Okay, guys, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for the support. And we're going to be upping what we have more in the future. So thank you guys. Peace out. Later.